Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k Necrons. Now in today's video we're going to be reviewing one of the Forge World units for the Necrons Index, and it's going to be the Canoptek Acanthrites. And not many people know much about the Acanthrites because they're Forge World and they're very expensive to purchase, so it kind of puts a lot of people off actually using them. But we're going to go through their datasheet today, give you a little bit more of an insight of what they're good at, what they're not good at, and of course give our Planet 40k rating at the end of the video. So let's get into the rear side of the deck card. They're 85 points for 3, 170 points for 6. That's the two unit sizes that are allowed in this edition. Every model is equipped with a cutting beam and void blade. We'll get onto the weapons in a moment. Now there's no weapon options, no war gear options. And well, in fact, going back to those points, they're cheaper than they were. They used to be 35 points a model, which was 105 for 3. So now being 85, they're cheaper. So we're going to kind of work out why as well. Let's flip the card over and we're going to look at the statistics. They've got a movement of 12 inch, which I think is brilliant because most, if not all, of our units have lost their movement. Even the stuff that used to be fast, apart from the tomb blades, I believe, everything's gone to like 9 inches, 8 inches and stuff like that. So to keep something that's 12 inches is pretty decent. Toughness is 5, we've got 3+ armor. Only 2 wounds, we lost the wound. They used to be 3, they're now 2, that kind of sucks. Leadership is 8+, which is also pretty poor. I mean, everything is normally a 7, so only an 8+ on the leadership. And OC is 2, which is okay, not too bad. Weapon-wise, we've got the cutting beam, which is effectively like a melter. It's got melter 2, in fact. 12-inch range, attacks 1, you're hitting on 4s. The strength has gone up to strength 9, which goes hand in hand with going up against the toughnesses of monsters and vehicles. -4 AP, so it actually retained its AP there, and the damage is D6. Of course, it's melter 2, so if you're within 6 inches, it's D6 plus 2. The melee side is the Void Blade, which is virtually a power sword. Hitting on 3 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 5, -2 AP, so we lost AP, that's standard, and 1 damage a pop. They're okay weapons. It means that these units, these models can fight as well as shoot. They're doing both roles. It's okay, it's not too bad. Ability wise, we've got Infiltrators. Now the only unit I believe that's got Infiltrators in the index is the Flayed ones. They used to have Deep Strike, in fact, the Flayed ones. Now they're Infiltrators as well. So Flayed ones, yes, they're cheaper than the Canoptek Acanthrites, but you've got to remember the Flayed ones are only toughness 4. They've got a 4+ armor save. They're 1 wound models. And you get 5 in the unit, that's going to be cheaper. I think 5 is 70 points. I'm going to check the points cost because I can't remember off the top of my head. Flayed. 70 points for 5, whereas these are, I just said it, but I'll say it again, 85 points for 3. So it's 15 more points. But bearing in mind that these are 2 wound models, these Acanthrites. So that's a total of 6 wounds versus 5 with the Flayed ones. We've got a better toughness. Toughness 5 versus toughness 4. And a better save. So the stats are actually better for just 15 points more. And the movement as well on top of that, movement 12 rather than movement 5. So you can kind of argue that they are better than Flayed ones in a way. Let's carry on. Reanimation Protocols is the faction ability, and Damaged Armor is the new ability that they've got instead of Shadow Wings. Shadow Wings used to be a -1 to hit them, we've lost that unfortunately, but Damaged Armor in the shooting phase after this unit is shot, select one enemy unit that was hit by one of these attacks. To the end of the phase, for any Necron units, when they attack that same unit, any critical wounds will improve the AP by 1. I don't know how I feel about that because it's only critical wounds, so it's only a 6 to wound unless you've got some sort of ability like anti-infantry 4+ or something somewhere. But really, it's mainly going to be 6s. That's going to be good in mass maybe with Necron warriors, but we're not getting much damage output from warriors anyway. They're more there, that's like a giant screen that never dies. So I'm not really that keen on that ability, to be honest with you. I'd rather have the -1 to hit with the Shadow Wings that we used to have in 9th edition. So that's the datasheet all summed up. In fact, there is one more thing, we didn't really talk about the keywords. They are beasts and they've got fly. So beasts do interact with ruins, they can breach ruins just like infantry would. So that is something that you could kind of compare them, such as Tomb Blades. Tomb Blades are another fast option that we've got, but they are mounted. Mounted can't go through ruins like they could do in 9th edition. They've got to now go over the ruins, whereas beasts can go through them. So if you were to do another comparison with Tomb Blades, that's something to talk about, the fact that these guys can breach through ruins. So bear that one in mind as well. Let's look at some synergy. We're going to start off with the stratagems. Protocol of Hungry Void. If you want to up the strength of the melee weapon to strength, it will go to strength 6. Maybe useful against toughness 3 to wound on 2s. You're not really going to be led by a character. You can be with the Sovereign Corona, but realistically they're too far ahead to do that. So you're not going to gain the extra AP realistically. The Protocol of Conquering Tyrant to be able to re-roll your win rolls at half range. That's only 6 inches, but that could be useful for those melter shots. I shouldn't call it melter shots, it's cutting beam shots. They're actually melter shots. Again, they're not really going to be led, so they're not going to get the full range, but if you've got the Sovereign Coronal there somehow, maybe it's with the Command Barge. Command Barge isn't realistically going to take it, but yeah. Protocol of Sunstorm if you want to advance and then shoot with your cutting beams. Got it right this time. And we've got the Protocol of Vengeful Stars. If you lose one model in the unit, then you can fire as if it was our shooting phase. So if you've got a 3-man unit, that's only going to be 2 shots. But if you've got a 6-man unit, that could be potentially 5 shots. So it can be good in the larger unit. Unit synergy, you've got the Reanimator if it's close enough. Again, these Acanthrites are infiltrators and they're moving 12 inches, so the likelihood is the Reanimator won't be near them. But if you can get them nearby, it's going to be an extra D3 to the Reanimation Protocols roll. So let's move into the Battlefield roll. Battlefield roll, for me personally, they're like a kamikaze unit. They're the first line of attack. They've got their melters and they can go melt a big target, especially if we go first. We're infiltrating. So we're only 9 inches away from the get-go. We're then moving 12. We can melt something. We can then charge something. They're likely going to die either in our fight phase or your opponent's next turn. The likelihood is that they go bang. They die. The Infiltrate is the second role for early secondary scoring. Maybe you pull the card in the first battle round and it's secure no man's land, attempting target if you got lucky to get that. And your opponent selected an objective in the no man's land and you can get to it because you're infiltrating and you've got 12-inch movement. So you've got options with this. Flayed ones can do a similar role, but they've not got that movement, have they? Secondary objectives, in fact, we're kind of already talking about that stuff, so we may as well continue. Secure no man's land, extend battle lines, area denial, they get to the centre. Cleanse, they can do the action. Deploy teleport Homer behind enemy lines, engage in front, bring it down, investigate signal, attempted target. These are all the things that they can do because of their speed, because of the infiltrate keyword. And yeah, if you've got 3 of them, yes, that is 3 melter shots that you're going to have to forego to do certain actions like cleanse or deploy teleport Homer. But because you've only paid 85 points, it's a sacrifice worth taking to get the points, because victory points are what win you the game at the end of the day. Pros and cons wise, well, infiltration, that's the main thing, that's the main pro. They've kept their 12-inch movement, which most units in our index have lost the movement. They can shoot as well as fight, which is quite, I wouldn't say rare, but a lot of units are either shooty or fighty. There's not many that can do both. I mean, we've got the Praetorians, which aren't that great in my opinion. The Triax Stalker doesn't fight particularly well, but can. There are other options, like Catan Shards, of course, they can do it as well, but they're expensive. So for a cheap option that can do both, that's quite good. They're more durable than flayed ones. We've kind of gone through that already. They're toughness 5, not toughness 4. They've got 3 of armour, not a 4 of armour. And they've got an extra wound per model as well. They're beasts, so they can breach the ruins, like an infantry could. And they've got fly. I know fly isn't the biggest deal, but you've got to fly just in case you need to hop over certain things. Cons wise, they're Forge World. We've got to put that in there. I know that's not really a game con, but it's an expense to your wallet and your personal finance, and Forge World models are just so expensive. So yeah, that's got to be in the cons. It's got the lack of synergy is my next point. They're not really synergizing. They've not really got any natural leaders, which is the next point. You could use a Sovereign Corona, but realistically, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. They've got a poor ability. I don't really like the ability that much. The damage armor is only really working on mass, and yeah, critical wounds are already on 6s, and then you're only gaining an extra AP when you get it, so it's not exactly great. They've lost the Shadow Wings, which was a -1 to hit in 9th edition, and Tomb Blades are stiff competition. Tomb Blades have got the same sort of speed. They're not fighting, of course, and they are mounted, but I think that's most people's preferred option, and they're a lot cheaper to buy as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into our Planet 40k rating for the Canoptek Acanthrites. Now, when I started this video, I thought these guys absolutely stink. But the more I looked into this and trying to be real with this, the more I've realised they're actually okay. Again, when you compare them to flayed ones, they're better than flayed ones, in my opinion. They're better. Of course, they don't fight. Well, maybe they do fight as good. I don't know. I've not really done the maths for it, but they can fight. Flayed ones don't carry melters. Flayed ones aren't moving 12 inches or toughness 5 or 2 wounds, 3+ armor. Flayed ones don't have that. So already you've got to put them above flayed ones, in my opinion. Now you're looking at the Tomb Blades. Are they better than Tomb Blades? They're not far off. I think Tomb Blades are very good. And you've got the in-run save if you wanted with the Tomb Blades. They're rapid. You can get the Tesla on them so you can advance with them naturally and shoot. They're not really fighting. So I think they're sort of just below Tomb Blade level, but I think they're better than flayed ones. And flayed ones quite a lot of people like. So that means these are usable. It's just a shame that they are Forge World. So let's stop rambling on and give a Planet 40k rating. And today I'm going to go with, it sounds a bit boring, but I'm going to go with a Planet 40k rating of 3-star. I still think they're usable, it's just that they're Forge World. That's all it is. Guys, you'll have to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you are subscribing on your exits. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.